could hear my wife when I got right here, and she said, "Stacy, come back here." But what I'd like to say to you is give you, thank you, sir, give you a little information about Isaiah. We didn't call him Isaiah. We called him Ike. And the reason we call him Ike, Isaiah just didn't sound good to us. When I say us, I'm talking about those people that Ike played golf with. Ike arrived at Vandenberg, not Vandenberg, but in the Air Force early in his life. He went in the Air Force in 1958. That was prior to the Air Force integrated. It was on its way, but it hadn't completely. I'm sorry, 48, 1948. But they sent Ike to school, the aircraft mechanic school, and once he finished that, he went all over the world. And during this period of time, he made Master Sergeant. That's going pretty fast. So he made Master Sergeant, and he came to Vandenberg in 1964. When he came to Vandenberg in 1964, you know, they were on their way into the missile program. And Ike White went to Missile Training Squadron as a supervisor. Once he got there as a supervisor, he did such an outstanding job. We were reorganizing then. And he went to an organization called the 3901st. The 3901st. This organization was an evaluation organization to evaluate all the rest of the organizations. Ike was really a sharp individual, and the Air Force and Vandenberg Air Force Base really needed him. And they decided they wanted to take Ike and put him in this outfit. There he went, and he started evaluating other units' programs. From there, he made Senior Master Sergeant. Ike was moving pretty fast, but he was a sharp guy. So he joined another group, and that was a golfing group. And Ike was younger than the rest of us. I was the oldest one. So we decided when we got to playing golf that we would use Ike as our driver because he could hit the ball so hard. And when we get to par 5, we'd ask Ike, "Okay, Ike, you get up there and get us to par 5. And he would hit that ball. He could really hit that ball hard. So we did this for quite a few years, Finally, Ike White was transferred to this 3901st, and he made the highest rank that you could make as far as an enlisted man. He made Chief Master Sergeant. You can't go any higher than that. He was very sharp individual. Then he decided, well, I've had enough of it, now it's time to get out, you know. So he had 26 years service, and he decided to get out. Well, Lockheed Martin heard about Ike White. So they decided we can use this guy. So Lockheed Martin said, come on, let's talk to us. So they did. They talked to Ike White, and they brought him to Sunnyvale. He became an employee of Lockheed Martin. And he stayed there for 17 years, and then he retired. As you know, Ike White had 2 lovely careers. And he retired from Lockheed Martin, and from there we continued to play golf, and from there, that's the rest of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Jan, for giving me this opportunity to say a few words about this wonderful man, husband, and a tremendous community advocate. As a former principal of Mount Pleasant High School, I got to know Ike almost on my first day at that school. when I saw the video, I can only imagine. That's what I would, every time I could come into my office, I could only imagine what he was going to talk to me about. Because it was always going to be about something he was very passionate man, very caring man, and it was always about doing good. And so I knew that whatever he wanted was going to be something that was not only good for Mount Pleasant High School, but for the community and for the surrounding schools, because we also worked with the elementary school district when I was principal at that time. But one of the most significant things that I did was to help raise funds for athletic facilities and working with the city of San Jose. I don't know if very many of you know this, but when we were working towards getting bond money and funds for our school, one of the other sources was the city of San Jose. And his connections and his charisma with working with that group and wanting to see the improvement in our athletic facilities for youth football, we were able to raise almost over $1 million through the city of San Jose and other sources. And a lot of that had to do with the compassion that our community leaders would put into being part of it. So some of the other things, of course, youth sports were big on his list, and he wanted to make sure we were doing everything we possibly could to be a partner. The other is, if you notice in the back, there's a plaque from Joe Cotto, who was the superintendent of Eastside at the time, about Code Red. Well, we had to engage our community because we were the first school in Northern California, in the state of California, after to do a Code Red drill with the San Jose Police Department. And it took quite a commitment of the community to be involved in that process, and it was instrumental in helping us have a very successful and meaningful experience with Code Red. But I suppose the most important thing was the man himself, his character, his constant belief in wanting to make things better. And yes, it did have many of those hour to 2 hour conversations. They were wonderful times, though, because he always had a smile on his face. He always was trying to do the right things. He was great for our school, great for our community, and he'll always be remembered that, and I consider him a good friend.